I'm okay. I just smoked another to the face, yeah. She wanna stay. Singing to your bitch like I was Drake, yeah.
Don't just try to tell me you love me. Can't keep it real if you really don't trust me. Come with a real, you hip in the front, so you get my meals. I'm gunning for the money in the bank. Come on with a dank, scrolling in the tank, rolling with the gang. You sit and I on the sideline tripping. I go to the hole with the rock like Pippin.
Yeah. I'm okay.
What up, though, and welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights. I am Easy, joined by Nicholas Kohloff.
Let's go.
Chris Platte in the building. Go to the commish on the ones and twos. We're going to have a good show today. Going over the Detroit Lions draft. We got the official Scott Bischoff jumping in to give us our close personal friend, Scott Bischoff.
Oh, Sam personal.
Be breaking down that one with us, too. Obviously, even our reaction stuff. Before we get to anything,
let's go,
baby. Nick, you were having a good day today.
Oh, yeah. I heard some crazy strays coming this way.
People want to hear this, too, man.
I wasn't expecting to get the strays from within the organization. You know, you hear stuff from the outside. You hear the chatter. But coming from the inside, two of the, biggest guys in the network, and you think about it, one of the founders in Stick, just having a lot to say the last couple of days about your boy Nick Kohloff. Crash out Nick, microwave Nick, whatever you want to call me.
Crash out Kohloff.
Crash out Kohloff. Neil Rule pumping in there, talking about my season tickets, talking about fake fandom, talk about doing it for clicks. I'm going to talk about 37 years of tickets within a family. I'm going to tell you about going to Thanksgiving to see Michael Vick play as a 7-year-old outside in the freezing cold tailgating. I'm going to tell you years later, getting emotional to my dad. It was a sad little kid, ruined his whole year because the Lions didn't win a game. I'm going to tell you about Matt Patricia. I'm going to tell you about Matthew Stafford going 0 for 3 in every single playoff game. I'm going to tell you about a kid growing up a die-hard, passionate Lions fan. And that's who you're coming after? Talking about fake clicks? That's who you're coming after? It's called passion. And both of you guys need to learn how to actually use that emotion. Because you get up here and you want to be yes men. Yes, Brad. Yes, we agree with everything. You sit in your little echo chamber. And it's almost like a little cult. Yeah, Brad, I agree with you here. Yeah, Brad, I agree with you here. How about you learn to think for yourself? And yeah, I didn't love the pick. Did I say he's the worst football player of all time? No, I didn't. And about the season tickets, yeah, I bought a season ticket next to my father, in between my cousin, when I turned 21 years old, and I was old enough to afford them. And they've been in my family for so many years. And when I talk about selling my tickets, yeah, I'm talking about selling them to a family member. And I'm not shipping them off to a rando 3 days after the draft when the offseason isn't even over, when the Lions could still make a big move. So for Neil Rule and for Stick, it's called thinking for yourself, and you should try actually doing it. Coming at this fandom, Easy. One of the biggest fans in the city, let alone the state, let alone this network. You're coming at me? It's called passion.
I'll say this. The thing I didn't like was them calling it fake. Like, you're allowed to not like the pick. You're allowed to not like the pick and still be a fan. I don't even agree with Nick. I like the pick. I hyped up Blake Miller 3 weeks ago. But like, you're allowed to have your opinion. Just because it doesn't share with anybody else doesn't make the passion behind it fake. I guess I don't know. That's the only part I didn't like. My boy Nick. If anything, you guys know he's a true blue crash out. Like that was genuine. And you crash out, still love your team. You guys see me watch the games live. Think back to the Eagles game. I'm in the back half of that game calling JG all kinds of names. I don't mean I don't love this team. I mean, we all went through the 0-16 season together. You guys, I guarantee, were pissed off and disappointed. Don't mean you don't love that team. You're allowed to be upset. You're allowed to express that passion. I don't think that was fair.
I think the craziest thing to me, too, is just calling out the fandom with it, which obviously we just hit on a little bit. But I think that's insane to say, I do it for clicks. And we don't need the clicks at this network, is what Stick said. This wasn't posted on Woodward Social. I posted it myself. So he doesn't even know what's going on right now. Because the craziest thing to me, and for that matter, anybody that knows me watching right now who probably 85% of you guys disagree with my take on the Blake Miller pick. And that's okay. You can have your opinions too. But I will also say this. All of you guys know when you've watched me on the Tigers ALDS Game 5, at the Michigan Championship, 2 of the largest 4 streams this network has done in the last season, the top 2, not including football, people tune in. Why? Because I care. Because I give a shit. Because you can see the emotion on my chest, and to call that and put that in jeopardy? Shame on you, Neil. Shame on you, Stick. It's a disappointment to see from 2 of the guys on top. Disgusting.
Commish, I don't even want to get your opinion. I don't want to get you in trouble. I don't want you to get dragged into this. Chris, do you have any opinion on this? And don't got to be all serious. I want to relax, have a good time too. But
no, I mean, I'm totally with Nick. Nick is totally in bounds with what he is saying here. Like, he's allowed to make his decisions based on what he feels is the best interest. That's what we're all doing. We're all operating on what we think the best interest is for our Detroit sports. And so for them to, I'm with you, like, to call it like fake and pandering. I know everything about Nick. He is authentic to a fault. Like, that's the way you describe him, right? He's authentic to a fault. Sometimes he should be fake. Sometimes he shouldn't keep it real. But he always does, man. So, like, I didn't like that part of it at all, man. Booth Boy is for life, even though he's on the desk today.
Shout out to Echo
Shout
4
out,
Whiskey in the Woodward Sports chat. He's got beef with you, Nick. I'm going to read this comment. That's not nothing crazy. Just get a reaction. Everyone's kind of with you in the chat, by the way. People are behind you. I think you're allowed to have your opinion. And if, anyone's being fake, I love these. I love those gentlemen. There were Malik Willis fans once upon a time strongly parading that one. Yeah. Then it all dissipated and disappeared. Another big Jared Goff guys. That was, kind of weird. But anyway, Echo 4 Whiskey Comics said he was done with Brad. He's been coming for Brad all offseason. Chill out. They have more information than you do. Let them do your jobs. Echo 4 Whiskey, he's allowed to have his opinion. He's allowed to feel the way he feels. That doesn't matter. Brad's going to do his job either way. Nick's going to have his opinion either way. That's what we do on these microphones. We share our opinions.
And would New York Jets fans say the same thing when people hate on the New York Jets? Obviously, Brad Holmes way better. But because it's their job, you can't criticize them. Obviously, Brad Holmes has struggled in the last couple off seasons. You'd be blind not to understand that. We're talking about a team that legitimately was 17 points away from going to the Super Bowl. They were in the NFC title game, to getting smoked by a rookie quarterback, and your quarterback turning the ball over 6 times, and then to miss the playoffs completely. That GM is named Brad Holmes, and he has failed this team the last couple off seasons, and to me, that's why I was so passionate. I needed to see a big off season. We'll get to if we've seen enough throughout the rest of this draft, Easy. But to me, that's just an, echo chamber. And to me, that's sad to see that you can't constructively criticize your GM or your team.
I think actually, Nick, you are right. I'm on your side. I told you a lot of feel the way you feel. The thing is, the principle that they're sticking to is you said you're going to sell your season tickets.
Okay. So I sell them within my family. Are you going to come after me? Like, that's what it is. They aren't mine specifically to sell when it's four in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 on the other side being my cousins. I'm the 4th one in that row. And I buy them from my father year in, year out, have done since I've been 21 years old. So I would sell them within my family. Am I going to still go to Thanksgiving with my family? Yes, I will.
Yeah.
Breaking news!
Dude, you're
Guy
grown man.
goes to a tailgate, literally called The Tailgate Wins on YouTube. How about you check out the receipts for that one? And my whole entire thing is going to these Lions tailgates with my family and my closest friends and having a great time celebrating Detroit Lions football. Even if I'm not going to every game, you can't take that part away from me. And that's why Detroit Lions football means so much to me, because it's a big thing that I've done with my family throughout my whole entire career.
My family.
Also, Nick, I just want to set the record because I actually don't know the answer to this question. You said that statement. I know, and I know you meant it. But is there a way that can change? Is there a way you can kind of like? Is that an ever flowing? Like if Brad Holmes did enough, in your opinion, then would you reconsider that? Because I think that's fair. You were acting in the moment, so I'm not.
Yeah, you're allowed to crash out.
Yeah, I was crashing out after the Blake Miller pick. Can we still make some great moves this offseason?
How many times,
I talked about
as
this
Lions
draft?
fans collectively, let's be honest in this room, how many times have you said out loud, I hate this fucking team?
A lot.
Do you hate the fucking team?
No.
You're allowed to crash out. You say stupid
love-hate
things in those moments.
yes, but
It's
It's a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, in a moment, I mean, you're going through right now with Jalen Duren. A lot of you guys right now.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of patient with Jalen Duren. I don't know what my real
I'm
expectations were for this postseason, but you still fuck with Jalen Duren. You're disappointed about right now, but you still fuck with Jalen Duren. But as Lions fans,
Yeah.
I know you could talk on this one. You said I hate this fucking team. You don't mean it.
yeah. No, I mean, obviously there's a lot more, in the past, but even, more recently, like after the loss against Washington in that first round, I was like, fuck this team. I'm tired of this team. Like, whatever it is, injuries, whatever. It always kind of feels like there's a dark cloud over it, and that's like a mindset that I'm trying to escape.
Also, like I see people in the chat being like Nick is capping something. Like he had that take, and I believe that he truly meant that because he told us in the group chat separately, like, hey, I'm actually going through with this, but things can change. Draft day 2 can happen. Draft day 3 can happen. Off-season moves can be made. Like that was a statement that wasn't capped. That was right there in that moment, and maybe he still feels that way now. Maybe he doesn't, but like that's not moving the goalpost. That's not being fake. That's called every time something changes, you actually thinking about what's happening and changing with. God forbid somebody has to just pick one side and stay on that fence. I did with Karis LeVert. It worked out great, but you don't always have to do it.
No.
You don't always have to do it.
Everybody that, is just completely riding with Brad Holmes and the organization, no matter what they do, and they want to listen every day to Woodward Sports and to listen to every great thing that the Detroit Lions are doing and never criticize them. Good for you. Honestly, I wish I could live like that, being so effing blind to any criticism. We have to get up here and every day and critically think. Honestly, that's what I think most of the time why I've been so cynical about this team is because I want more. I want a Super Bowl. And if you can get up here and be okay with 9-8, and you can listen every day and not criticize a single move, I'm proud of you for just being that oblivious to what is really going on. And you can be sold a lie, and you can drink the magical Kool-Aid.
Okay, you're going too far.
And you can be in the cult.
Too far.
That's what I'm telling you right now.
As a cult member, you're going too far.
That's what it is.
We're just talking about you being able to share your opinion. All right, that one sucks. How about this? How many likes are we at right now, Chris?
We are at, let's see, 52. Damn, we're surging.
Nick, I love you.
What up?
If we hit 200 likes live on the stream, I'm going to bully you into selling your tickets.
I'm out.
For the fans.
I'm not. You can literally not sell them.
200 likes, we'll bully Nick into selling his tickets.
That's just
300.
insane.
300. 300. I
They're
like
getting,
300 better.
They're getting
I
sold.
like 300
They're
better.
getting sold within the family. You can do what you want. I never said who I'm selling them to. They're
Lambertini
going
super
to my
chat.
family, and everybody else can, take a lap.
Nick, if we get 300 likes, you have to sell 2 of those tickets to your least favorite cousin.
There you go.
There is one that has been talking to me all off season because this has been a thing in my eyes because I've been so disappointed with this off season and what we've done in a critical time.
Nick,
We've
I'm
been
right there
in
with you.
communication.
Yeah.
So going into this draft, I said it because after Easter, I was already talking about doing
Neil's
it.
in the chat.
Good.
You want me to read a comment?
I don't
you
give
find
a
it?
shit. I have the chat off.
He says, cool story. Did you sell the tickets or not?
Classic Neil. Hey man, Neil.
What do you want me to say? I mean,
I don't
Neil,
know.
there are situations that have nuance. I know that you like to really, take one way or the other. There is no, in between with you. But this situation does have a little bit of nuance. If you listened to, our friend Nick on the desk here for a little bit, you would have understood that.
Good to see Neil popping in here. Got to understand, he probably isn't that big of a fan, doesn't understand it's a family tie. You got to sell it within the family. I've had discussions about it already. Take your time. We're 3 days after the draft, Neil. We're 4 days after the draft.
Super chat for Lebertini. Shout out, Nick. You ran that 40, so you're a real one to me.
Shout out. Nice. And you want to talk about all of this clickbaiting and everything? How about Neil today? Just going after Nick in the sound booth over here. Like, what are you doing? Like, you have the platform and you go after me. Same with Stick. Everybody wants to talk about what I did and how I reacted to the draft. If you ain't getting booed, they don't boo nobody. So there we go. Neil Rule, shout out for all of the attention that you have given me. Thank you, Neil.
Adam from the D.
Shout out Unky Neil. Got another super chat. I can't see this one for some reason. Oh, here it is. Adam from the D.
That one was pretty funny.
You read it?
Yes.
Do you want to read it?
He said something about a tard and a...
Oh, no, that was his first one. He's got a second one in there.
I have not read this.
Adam from the D says, I hate this team. I was born into this, and I'm always a Lions fan, but, I hate this team. Remember the Jets kid? Neil, you have the body.
Did you not see that?
No, I don't read them before I read. I just start reading. Maybe I should start proofreading them.
That's great.
You know what? I love Neil. Neil would read this one out loud. I hate this team. I was born to this, and I'm always a Lions fan, but, I just hate this team. Remember the Jets kid, Neil? You have the body of a lesbian. That's super chat. Adam from the D. I'm just reading words off a screen. Shout out, Unky Neil. All right, with that, let's get this show on the road. Got tons of draft stuff to break down for you. Scott Bischoff joined the show. Before we do anything, tell us about Ven Johnson.
Yeah, and I will tell you guys about Ven Johnson. Listen, guys, the corporations, the government, even your insurance companies will do whatever it takes to minimize their liability and withhold your compensation. So when something goes wrong, you better make Ven Johnson your first call and get a fighter in your corner. Contact Ven today at venfights.com.
Get ready for the ultimate sports experience. Join former University of Michigan star and NFL sensation Braylon Edwards alongside the charismatic Shep.
Braylon Edwards, touchdown Michigan!
As they break down the latest in sports like never before. Tune into the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Touchdown, Braylon Edwards!
Weekdays from 2 to 4 p.m. only on the Woodward Sports Network. Don't miss out on hot topics, insider insights, and the banter that keeps you coming back for more.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. venfights.com.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
The new high-performance canvas brand where raw power meets rugged innovation is finally here. It's big oil, smooth performance, all gas, no leaks. It's Jungle Juice by Jars. Make sure you stop by one of the 250 different locations to try it. They got the 2-gram XL, clog-resistant and rechargeable at all dispensaries, 12 different strains. Make sure you check them out again at Jars. And I'll follow them on Instagram at GetJungleJuice. What up, though? Welcome back to Whatever Waits live on WoodSports.com. I'm joined by Nicholas Kohloff. Crash out Kohloff. We got Chris in the booth. We got Gordo as well. Smash the like button. Be a friend. Tell a friend. Share the stream. And I'm telling you, Lions fans, if you smash the like button, you just may be able to purchase next season tickets. All right. 313 likes. We're bowling them to sell them.
You guys wrote me into the 40. I ain't getting roped into this shit. I'm selling them to my family, and everybody else wants to say some shit and kick rocks.
No LaFontaine family deal?
It's a 38-year.
All right, we're good. Relax.
Hey, you had fun with the 40.
I had to train for that bitch. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's
Still ran it
flat.
faster than Goff, per sources.
Yeah, I mean, they said you would have beat him probably. They don't see Goff running that. But Goff did
Exactly.
run faster than that once upon a time.
Go
Just as
ahead.
fast as Shady McCoy.
Shout out. Who did run faster than this 40? Did a man named Blake?
I don't know. I don't think Blake ran faster
Oh,
than Jared
don't
Goff's
give me
40.
that
I'm
ammo.
very curious now. Blake Miller, obviously, Detroit Lions first round pick. We kind of talked about that Friday. I kind of want to do the rest of the draft, but we can talk about Blake a little bit too. Did you change your mind or feel any better over the weekend?
I still think it's an average pick, and I graded it a C- the next day. I crashed out mostly because I wanted to trade up for Bane, or I thought Monroe Freeling was going to be a staple of the future. That was my offensive lineman if we were going to stick at 17, and he was there. Obviously, Brad loved Blake Miller. He's been recruiting him for years, and a lot of people in the media really like Blake Miller, but to me, I just don't believe he has that upside of an all-pro, of a Pro Bowler, or an upper echelon right tackle in the league. I think you're legitimately talking about the 12th to maybe 22nd best tackle at the right side. You know, that's what he's going to be. And if you're okay with that,
That's good.
At 17, that's okay. I was looking for the higher upside right there. If you're talking about the 12th right tackle, you're not talking about a Pro Bowler by any means.
Can I ask you this then? How long do you think, since Monroe Freeling was your guy, how long do you think he reaches that ceiling? How long until he becomes that player?
I think in the next few years, you're going to be talking about a dominant player. And obviously, everyone's going to say, oh, they were already making Panay the left tackle. They were already making Panay the left tackle. He was getting the camaraderie with, the right guard already. So you're switching that up. Let's see how he does at left, which obviously I think Panay is going to be a phenomenal tackle. But I don't think this team upgraded its tackle position by going Blake Miller at right tackle, moving Panay over to the left, just compared to even Taylor Decker at left tackle and Panay on the right.
They upgraded.
Yeah, Nick.
They upgrade their situation for
I would
sure.
push back on that a little bit, but I also definitely, agree with you to an extent. Blake Miller is going to be really good, and if anybody can move to left tackle, it's going to be Penei Sewell.
I'm not saying that he can't.
But hold on, real quick.
Yeah.
Can I explain to you like this though?
I think he's going to be an all-pro left tackle.
The offensive line was one of the biggest, if not the biggest, issue for the Detroit Lions last year.
Definitely.
Defense, yeah, you could say it, but there also were injuries included with that. So it's like hopefully those guys come back and stay back. But with the offensive line being the issue, one, the blind side of your quarterback is upgraded with Penei Sewell versus fucking Monroe Freeling, whoever the hell you want to put there in this year's class. Penei Sewell is an upgrade over that. You have an all-pro tackle who was originally a left tackle, forced himself to play right tackle, ended up just being the best at it.
Yeah.
I agree.
Now he's going back to his natural position.
I agree Panay is going to be an absolute dog
The other thing
at the
too,
left side. I am not saying that.
The other thing, too, the Detroit Lions are closer now, even though I don't necessarily think it's going to happen this offseason, or this season, I should say, the Super Bowl, than they would be a couple of years from now waiting for Monroe Freeling to possibly develop into what you think he can be versus Blake Miller hitting the ground running as a top 20 guy now. With the ceiling. By the way, Blake Monroe Freeling is like 21.
So you're saying top play and plug top 20 right tackle right now is Blake Miller is what you're saying. That is what he will be for the Detroit Lions.
That's the expectation.
Okay.
But he's hit the ground running that was since. By the way, only a 6 month difference in the age. And one guy with tremendous, way more experience starting all 4 years at Clemson.
Top 20 right tackle?
He has the ability to be top 20 right tackle in the league,
or
right?
top 20 tackle.
Right
Is
tackle.
it fair to say that he could reach that by the end of the year?
A top 20 right tackle?
Yeah, right tackle.
I would be happy if he was able to get into the top 20 of right tackles. I just don't know if he's going to be that immediately. And everyone's saying he's this can't-miss right tackle. I just don't see that. Yeah. This guy can get beaten from the outside, speed rusher. Oh, you want to give him a fake speed? Boom, pop inside. I've seen that on the tape as well. Like, this guy isn't some indestructible prospect, or he wouldn't have been there at 17.
Now, Nick,
and he probably wouldn't have played right tackle his whole college career, Easy. Can we agree on that as well?
What?
That he probably wouldn't have played right tackle his whole college career as well. If you just talked about you got to protect the blind side, you got to protect the blind side. Blake Miller played right tackle for all of his 4 years, right?
It's actually a pretty fucking badass story. Why, though? Do you know why?
Let's hear it.
So there's lines to literally. It's not that bad, but kind of cool. He's a Dan Campbell guy. There's lines to play tackle or offensive line, and the right tackle line was just shorter. and he wanted to get on the fucking field. Like that is the guys they draft, the football guys. And I think this draft class is overall just weak in general. I mean, there's truly, you've heard it from everybody, there's probably only 13, 14 like true blue chip guys in this draft class. So to get a Blake Miller at 17 is kind of like that is what it is. Monroe Freeling was not one of those blue chip guys. And I don't think you can have a strong opinion either way, good or bad. I don't want anybody saying anyone's going to be all pro, but I also don't want anyone saying this guy's going to suck.
I didn't say that he's going to suck. I said he's going to be average.
But I don't think it's enough to be mad, I guess. And
you were mad in the moment. I was mad about was the Bane thing. I mentioned Monroe Freeling because I thought he was the better prospect.
Real quick, I get the super chat the way. We don't have to, you don't have to address it if you don't want to. I know we're kind of over this stuff, but Luigi Gaming 313 says, with the Blake Miller pick, you crashed out because you didn't get the player you liked. It's more like a toddler crying over his favorite cup. You don't got to respond to that. I just wanted he's paid his money. I wanted to read the comment.
What was his name?
That is from Luigi Gaming.
Been on me since draft night. Shout out Luigi for tapping in.
Shout out to Luigi.
There's a reason why Mario is the name of all the games.
Mario. Oh, shout out Detroit Mario. Ooh.
They got a Luigi's Mansion. Shout out.
Yeah, but that's like 2 games out of like 20 Mario
Luigi's
games.
Mansion. Wasn't a fan.
No Luigi's Mansion 2 because it sucked.
Hey, one thing. Can I put an olive branch out to all of us?
I hate
the
olives.
offensive line compared to last year improved.
Yes.
Okay, we can all agree. Nick?
Yeah.
You can agree with that?
From what?
The offensive line compared to last season improved.
I think the biggest improvement was at the center position from Cade Mays from
let me ask
Grand
you this,
Glasgow.
Though.
I think that was the biggest upgrade.
Do you think a Blake Miller coming into the season healthy and he should play over 13, 14, 15 games is more impactful than a Taylor Decker who's missing every other game? Because that's where I think that this offensive line is really improved. I mean,
We'll take it a step further. Larry Borle.
Yeah.
Who do you like better between the two of them?
Not only that, we have improved depth as well.
I like Blake Miller more.
Our immediate depth isn't Coyote Awosika and who and what is his name? Giovanni Manu. I almost said Manu Ginobili. We have guys like Juice Scruggs and homeboy with the Gatorade milkshake. Like, we have better depth all around.
Yeah.
So especially with the offensive line, I am a lot more confident.
Yeah, great depth all around. I mean, even going back to like the defensive side, we got Chuck Clark, Easy, and all those guys as backups that were starters.
Yeah,
National Football League. I love that.
You know what? That's something that we might want to get into later with Scott Bischoff. But sure. I like how this new personnel is. It seems to me to be hinting at more of a 3-4. Like, Derek Moore is the perfect outside like linebacker in a 3-4. You know what I mean? Like the edge rushing, like all of that. I think Shep is going to change things up a little bit. I'm actually pretty optimistic about this Detroit Lions defense.
Yeah, I don't think they have the guys to run the defense they were trying to run last year.
Yeah,
right now,
they don't have
even the will position.
To run base.
I'm cool with Malcolm Rodriguez. I love Malcolm Rodriguez. I loved him before the draft. I mean, before we even drafted him, I loved him as a prospect.
I think,
But the thing is, I don't know if he's quality starting linebacker in the National Football League. I'll be honest about it. I don't even know he got a pick in the NFC Conference Championship game. Shout out. And then the other thing, too, is the guy you grabbed. We're going to talk about him, too, Jimmy Rolder.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. We'll get to it. I'll save it. I'll save it. You gotta go to break, though.
And real quick.
Yeah.
I think my last thought with this draft, I think there are 2 times with that first pick with Miller. I think Brad wanted Caden Proctor. I think that's who he was sold on 1,000%, and then couldn't get it. And then it was the same thing with Jimmy. I think he wanted Jacob Rodriguez. Yeah. But that didn't fall to him, so he went with the backup plan.
Yeah.
I think even a Hill Jr. was a better linebacker.
To Brad and the Proctor stuff, and I don't even necessarily know if this was for Blake at that point, too, because there was a run on tackles at that point, but the Ravens GM came out today that somebody offered to trade up to 14, and they're going to do it because they still felt like they'd get a guy they like because they'd still be in the teens, and they offered 2 fourth-round picks. Well, who had additional fourth-round picks to spare was the Detroit Lions.
To go up and get who?
We don't know.
Who was your best
Proctor
guess?
Was gone at that point. I mean, I'm thinking Bane, to be honest.
I do not. I'm not doing this again. I'm not giving them credit. I'm not giving them credit for a trade that they did not make. That is some crazy Brad.
You know what?
Shit.
You know what? 1,000,000% was Brad. And it wasn't Bane. It was
Blake Miller.
It was Blake Miller.
It was Blake effing Miller.
That was Blake Miller.
This is his guy, and I'm
He
not
wasn't
saying
gonna take Bane.
that he's going to be a trash tackle
Yeah.
forever. I'm just saying he's going to be an average right tackle. You want to kill me for saying that? Okay, please go ahead and do so. He played right tackle at Clemson for a team that never made the playoffs. You want to talk about 4-year starter? I'll tell you, yeah, a 4-year starter at a team that never made the playoffs. And he wasn't playing left tackle because he wanted to get in and do reps.
The call
Brad
up
Holmes,
at 11,
Dan Campbell guy.
The call up at 11 was for Caden Proctor. The call up at 14 was for Blake Miller. And then I think what happened, and Brad mentioned this too in the press conference, you go back and listen to it, he said once the quarterback went off the board, they felt pretty confident they'd get who they wanted, which was Blake Miller at that point. Once Caden Proctor was gone, Dolphins said, we're not trading you 11. We're taking Caden Proctor. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Called the Ravens, and then L.A. took the quarterback, which Brad referred to in his press conference when he knew they'd land their guy, and he did at 17, Blake Miller. He's going to be good. It's a great pick. I'm going B+, borderline A.
Okay, is a B+ great, though?
Yeah, that's good. This is a shit class. I think that's the thing we all have to remind ourselves.
Yeah.
Poop class. Like, I can't wait till we talk about Derek Moore. I've been reading a lot of crazy expectations for Derek Moore. I feel quite differently about it.
You've been reading a bunch of crazy expectations?
Yes.
I
listening
might have
as
a
well.
Are we surprised?
Actually,
at this fan
if
page
Uncle
right
Neil's
now?
still here as well too. Uncle Neil, I said in the chat too, like he was like, "Is this going to fix the Aiden Hutchinson needs help thing?" I don't think you can say that confidently right now at all. Chris,
Quick question: If Monroe ends up being the better prospect than Blake Miller, does that change your grade of your pick?
well, yeah, but
Yes.
truly, you shouldn't be grading any draft. I always say this: 3 years until 3 years on the road.
Okay.
You get your first year to fuck up,
Right.
Your first year to get right, and then your third year you should be like, "This is what I am as a pro." Yeah, get it polished by then. I believe that's I can't think of the coach's name. Dan Campbell's former coach for the New York Giants, Bill
Parcells.
Cess. That's the famous quote from Bill Parcells. Yeah. You need 3 years to find out what you got in a player. So that's when you give your true grade. Yeah, you could change it.
Because that's been my only thing with the pick is that
Yeah, I mean you can't have a solid grade set in stone from draft night before he hits the field. You know,
But I was a C because I thought that Monroe Freeland would have been an A- pick from my understanding, from my opinion, because I think they picked the right thing to do, which is address the offensive line. I just don't think they picked the right prospect in my opinion. So that's why. Now, if he ends up being the better prospect than Monroe Freeland 3 years from now, then I guess I can look back and say, hey, this was an A for Brad. But right now I think it's a C because I think Monroe Freeland was the better prospect.
can we admit this though? Brad's pretty fucking good at drafting. So I'm gonna side with that one versus the fucking Panthers. To be honest with you guys.
Unless it's a DB.
You
And
can
that's
say,
like-
you can
you
say
like a
that as
Lions
well.
fan, you know?
But you want to talk about the last, I would say, 6, first and second round draft picks, including this year. Let's talk about Terrion Arnold.
Mm-hmm.
Where is he considered at a bust prospect? What would you draft? Where would you grade that draft
So
right now?
he's coming up on his third year. But what I would grade it right now, probably a C.
I would grade that a D.
But the other thing too is like, and I try to be fair when I do like these hindsight grades. I try to just compare it versus the rest of the first round selected after him. I think truly out of that first round, Nate Wiggins might be the only guy you're really talking about trading or drafting ahead of him.
The fella on the Texans. Oh God, I forget his Lassiter maybe.
Lassiter?
Especially
He's
in the
second round pick
round.
though.
Well, let's talk about the second round. What would you grade Rakestraw?
Right. I mean, listen, Rake.
Minus.
I would bail you out here, but you never bought that Ford Bronco for me, brother. I'm gonna have to give that one a big fat D. Pause.
What? That can't be a D.
What do
He
you
hasn't
mean?
played through the first 2 years.
It's a D.
That's a glaze. That's a glaze.
It's a D.
No, that's an F.
If
he hasn't played, that's an F.
He's an F. F
Due to
minus.
injury.
If a Broderick Martin is an F, if a Hendon Hooker is an F, if any of these, Josh Pascal is an F, so is Ennis Rakestraw.
Yeah.
And I know he's still on the team. It's the same thing like Ahmed Hassanin. I want him to be great, but right now I have to give him an F because I haven't seen shit.
Okay, well that's not fair after 1 year.
No, that's the baseline. That's where That's where it's at. Like
Off
if
of
you have a
injury?
student that doesn't show up to school for the entire fucking semester, he's gonna get an F.
Yeah, but your student, you going to school is depend on you getting hurt going to fucking school. You know what I'm saying? Like he's injured.
You could get sick.
Hey, yeah, you can get sick and you got to redo the 5th grade.
I don't work that way.
Come on, bro.
All right, let's go next round real quick. Let's do it. Ty League
real quick,
Williams,
we got
where
super
you at?
chat.
All right.
Do you want to read it? It's to you.
I don't have the chat up, and I will not have the chat
All
up
right.
for a long time. So-
This one is kind of maybe it's 50-50. Shout out to Echo 4 Whiskey for listening. But he says, can't wait to see Nick in the hot dog suit, panhandling. Maybe he will be reminded that he doesn't know what he's talking about. We all have opinions, but to get emotional and crash out is crazy. It's not crazy to crash out. You're allowed to crash out.
Shout out Echo for the money.
But great. I mean, that's a true comment in the first one. Like, you're allowed to have your opinion.
And people, it strikes an emotion.
Oh, wait.
It strikes an emotion. You had to,
You know what I just
had to say something.
You know what I just thought of, Nick? I just thought of the fact that, you were talking about this earlier when we talked about the hot dog suit punishment. Remember you said I'm going to find a way to get that 100 off quick so I can go to a game. But now if you're selling your season tickets, hey, you got nowhere to be, brother. You got all the time in the world. Take your time in that suit.
You've seen that 40 speed. I'm booking it. No, I'm just kidding.
What if we get him the suit, he just runs away from us? We
You're
don't even
gonna
give him the
have to have
panhandle. He just blazes that
That
five.
Oh, the
five
police.
lanes.
We got a
call the
loose
cops.
weenie running around downtown Detroit.
Yeah, I would call the cops.
Yeah, call the cops and say there's a
We got a
suspicious
wiener on
hot
the
dog
loose.
suit running
We got a
around.
wiener.
He has a
on the
weapon.
loose. Yeah.
Careful, he likes to be frisked.
So that start of that draft is bad. Like, there's no other way around it. Like you just said, Brad's a good drafter. He is, but he's also let this organization down. I think the last couple seasons, Tyreek right now is not trending up to be a Pro Bowl type defensive tackle. I think he can be a starter level defensive tackle. I'm not looking for a starting defensive
Wasn't he
tackle
like
unless you're an above average
Okay,
starter.
actually, so
Wasn't-
when
let's
you're
do
getting
this.
taken
Let's
in
do
the
this real
last.
quick for the Terry Arnold stuff. Because it's only really fair to compare the rest of the first round.
You got to
draft
find
him
the
over.
guy. We talked about it. This is your job.
Terry Arnold
This is your
24.
job. This is what you do. I listen to
but
this
it's
guy.
easy to look at hindsight. It'd be the same thing with fucking Puka Nacua. He'd be a first round pick. It don't work that way. Jordan Morgan, would you take him over Terry Arnold? You don't even know who he is because he fucking sucks. by the
Tackle.
way. Yeah.
Packers.
Yeah.
What up?
Ass, right?
Don't even know who he is.
He's actually.
He sucks.
yeah,
solid.
I don't like him.
He's
I
not
thought it
that
was a
bad.
bad pick by the Packers.
This one I would probably take over Terry Arnold's Graham Barton to the Bucs.
Yes, I would.
Yes.
We did like Barton too in that
Yeah, we
draft.
did like Barton a lot. By the way, John, I can't think of his last
Probably
name.
would have been,
The
probably would have
GM,
been a great addition to this interior of
Would've
the
been a fun-
offensive line
dude.
with the Frank news.
it would have been a phenomenal Frank replacement.
Yeah.
And then the money you spend on Cade, you probably could have spent on another left guard or defense. Maybe upgrade the defensive end position. We'll talk about it. Graham Barton, yes, I'll allow that one. Darius Robinson,
No.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Xavier Worthy.
No.
Oh, I
don't think he
love
fits
his
the
hot.
team.
No, I'm just kidding. No.
He does have a
Speedster.
smoking hot
Oh, speedster.
mother.
Oh.
Tyler Guyton, Cowboys, offensive tackle.
Probably not.
Probably not. Nate Wiggins,
Yes.
Ricky Pearsall, no.
Danny
Xavier
G
Levitt,
in the
like
chat. Honey, where's my hot dog suit?
I might take Ricky Pearsall just off the iconic moment that the coming out to the gunshot, like,
Ready,
bro,
man.
in Detroit, bro, that would have been a history.
Wish that upon me.
But that, like, you're gonna go down the list right here, and
Yeah.
that is a bunch of people striking out. But even if it is just the one
I mean,
player
there's
in a
2,
Nate
3
Wiggins,
guys,
or
that's-
if you talk about the,
or 2.
I just don't believe like that's his job. If you want to go on that side of it as well, that's his job to do this, and I'm gonna trust him over you.
Cooper DeJean was a second-round pick that year, right?
You put money on Terry Arnold to win Rookie of the Year.
Because
You believed in that
this
pick.
was coming off of Brad cooking. This was the start of the downhill era of Brad Holmes in the draft.
That was coming off of the 2023 draft where he went fucking
2022, I
Or
believe,
22.
with Jack Gibbs,
Yeah.
23.
Laporta.
Bro, you couldn't tell me nothing about Brad
Yeah.
Holmes after that draft. Like,
Yeah,
if I'm being
23.
honest, I
Yeah,
think we
it's
were
fair.
all kind of on that same wave.
He still did that, though.
I think Tyreek
That's
Williams.
insane fucking draft, my God,
Yeah,
dude.
I
To
listen.
get Laporta and Branch in the second round after that, I mean, that's nuts.
Yeah, and to everybody, yeah,
Truly
that's
insane
where I
stuff,
am
dude.
with the microwave hot quick fan take because I believed in Brad. I
So then believe in
react like
Blake.
that. Okay, I haven't agreed with the last couple first rounders, and that's what it is. Like, that's as simple as that. And I don't love the Tyreek pick. I'm gonna say that right now. I didn't like it at the
I don't love it
time,
either.
and I don't think he's a difference maker on your defensive line.
I had somebody in the comment section saying defensive tackle was a bigger need for the Detroit Lions at that point last year than edge. Bro, the edge has been a need for 3 fucking years. You're out of your goddamn mind to say defensive tackle is more important than edge. That pissed me off. I'd address that real quick. Nick, would you say Freeling is a generational prospect? Asked Neil. And he puts the quotations around generational.
I am not.
Easy, you want to read off that last super chat in there? I don't think the other 3 of us can.
Why? Is he use a bad word?
Maybe.
Maybe.
It depends on your stance on it.
My NGA Nick on the desk. What up, though, fellas?
Shout
to Evan Murphy.
Shout out, Evan Murphy.
I think he wanted you to read that one.
Almost got me.
Almost got me.
Almost. Back to the desk.
All right. We're going to go to break. When we return, I want to do 2 draft picks before we got to this, but it's all right. We'll get Scott Bischoff on. First, let me tell you guys about the massage chair house. My guy, Dr. Eric Duncan, at the corner of Woodward and Long Lake Road. The wellness doc, they call him, used to fix people's backs. He's still doing the same thing at Massage Chair House this time. Pull up, scan the QR code, or visit massagechairhouse.com. Go see my guy, Dr. Eric Duncan, if you're in the area. Just stop by, talk ball with him if you will. And like I said, some all-pros, all-famers may shop the same spot. Tell me about Thrive.
And guys, listen, Thrive, stuff just works, man. Most people think energy comes in a 16-ounce can with that neon-colored, sugary liquid. Nah, get the hell out of here with that. You got to upgrade your game and do it with Thrive energy pouches. This ain't your daddy's dip. It's a tobacco-free, nicotine-free mental powerhouse, packing 300 milligrams of clean, smart caffeine, including alpha GPC and L-theanine. No jitters, no sugar crash, and 0 bloating. Grab wintergreen, peach, peppermint, or cinnamon today. Scan the QR code on the screen right now and visit dipstop.com. That's dipstop.com and use the promo code WSN for 15% off your entire order. Thrive. Clean energy, 0 distractions. They just effing work.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shaq Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
This is a hungry bear. This is Carl and Jeff. Carl isn't worried because he has focused energy to spare thanks to Thrive energy pouches. Jeff didn't use Thrive when Carl offered. The bear is happy about that. Don't just survive. Thrive.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
We good? Okay. I just wasn't hearing anything in here, my bad. Supreme Lending is the dream team for all home eligible buyers. You can get $500 off your appraisal by mentioning Woodward Sports. They have 0% down payment programs available. Call Chad and Chris. It's the dream team, man. Call them today. Their numbers are on the screen. It's supremelending.com. 99% close on time rate, 97% customer satisfaction. So won't you just check it out? Sun Cruiser.
And guys, it's almost May. It's heating up. And a hot day with some Detroit sports calls for a Sun Cruiser. Nothing goes better. Listen, guys, it's real vodka, real iced tea, no bubbles, just a clean, crisp sip that won't fill you up on game day. Only 100 calories and 4.5% alcohol. Perfect for tailgates, couch gates, or wherever you're watching Detroit Tigers this summer, Detroit Lions in the fall. It doesn't matter. Get yourself some Sun Cruiser and enjoy with Woodward Sports. Please drink responsibly.
What up, though? Welcome back. Woodward Heavyweights Live, WoodwardSports.com. I'm Easy by Nicholas Kohloff, Chris Platte, Gordo in the building. We're also joined by the one, the only NFL draft analysis. My guy Scott Bischoff joined the show.
Best friend.
My best friend. What's up, Scott?
Shout out, Scott.
What's up, guys?
What's up, man? I appreciate the time to join us post-draft. Is this your first time sharing your opinion? You guys do one already on your show?
We haven't done it yet, but we will.
Let's go.
It's you're going to be very disappointed.
No, I think we're on the same.
It's not the time to have big bull. It's not the time to really to
have strong takes.
What do we know? Yeah. It's just
I've been
it's
trying
a,
to tell
it's,
somebody that
ridiculous.
all. I've been trying to tell someone that all day.
That's where we'll start here, Scott. I had a big take, obviously.
Everybody's got to do their own thing.
Exactly, yeah. Scott. Let's start there. Blake Miller, right tackle, the future for the Detroit Lions at that position. Sell me on Blake Miller. Why is he going to be the future of the Detroit Lions, solidifying the right tackle position?
54 starts. He tests like an elite athlete. I think it's in some ways it's the availability as much as anything else to play at a reasonable level in college. Again, he hasn't been surrounded by, I mean, I know it's Clemson, but Clemson has fallen off and they are not what they once were. But still, he's a right tackle only. I think that part of the whole conversation is Penei Sewell is definitely moving to play left tackle at this point. And, he's got 54 starts in college. He missed one practice. He had wrist surgery and missed the next day because of that, but then didn't miss another practice. So if we value what the Lions see in these high character guys, he is one of the highest character football guys that there were in this entire draft. It's just he's going to play right tackle, right? So if you that was the whole Monroe Freeling conversation was in and around the idea of him playing left tackle down the road at a high enough level that you wouldn't have to move Penei Sewell. But the Lions had already made, it seems like they had made that decision already. And just understanding what they value in players. I think that the idea of his floor is being high enough to be worthy of pick 17 is interesting. But I also look at, the athletic testing. He tested outrageously as an athlete. I think that there are very obviously things that need to be resolved within his game. But, you could say the same thing for every offensive tackle that got drafted before him. Same exact thing, different things. But there are issues in the games of all of these guys. With Miller, to me, it's specifically around his hand usage and where he wants to put his hands at times. There are times when he wants to kind of reach from outside in and grab instead of punch. And that definitely needs to be something that they work on and they get figured out with him. But, I think that, I know we're talking a little bit about the stuff that you worry about. He plays tall, and that does hide some of the athleticism that he did test with. Because, he tested as an outrageous athlete. It actually surprised me. I was surprised that he tested that way. So he can move. He can do all the things. He's got all the movement abilities. It's just there are minor things that need to be tweaked. But again, you can say the exact same thing about Spencer Fano or Francis Mauigoa or all of the other tackles, Caden Proctor. There are issues around their games for sure. I think there is security in knowing what you know with Blake Miller, and you know it because he started 54 games. I'm not trying to sell you on it because I don't think anybody. That's not necessarily what we're doing, but I get it that it was a little bit disappointing. It was a little bit of a safe, kind of a boring pick, but in some ways it's kind of where the Lions are. They needed it. Do you see him as an upgrade over, I guess, last year's version of Taylor Decker for sure because he was hurt? Maybe even Larry Borum? Yeah. Or do you think it'd be a sure deal competition between the two of them? I think he's a significant upgrade over Borum. I'm not sure if it plays out that way in week one where people come back to this and you said he was a significant upgrade. He's not even starting. You know what I mean? Like they got to have a runway, but I do think that with Miller and all of the starts that he does have, I don't think that Larry Borum is long for the starting lineup, even if he is. It wouldn't surprise me if Miller beat him out in training camp right away and started, for the Lions. Now, I do think that, you have a rookie playing next to a second-year right guard and Tate Ratledge. There's going to be some growing pains. There's going to be some speed bumps. We saw it last year in week one. Everybody remembers what Tate Ratledge looked like next to Graham Glasgow at times in week one. We all saw it. So there are going to be, things that happen where it doesn't look great right away. But, we're talking about I think a good player. I do think that he's got, the value in him is that you know what his floor is, and his bust potential is lesser than some of the other players that went in front of him. If they can tap into some of that athletic upside, we'll see. that's the whole thing is that we'll see what things look like in training camp and as the season progresses. I think if they missed on a player like Miller and they were to do something else in the first round, we would all be wondering what's going on right now because, we saw the tackle run. We saw a bunch of those guys go early. One of the players that I had targeted, or I thought that they could target maybe in the middle of round 3 and maybe even past that, was Markel Bell, and he went a lot earlier than I thought he would go. And if the Lions would have done something else in round 1 and not gotten a player like Miller at some point in the draft, we'd be having very different conversations around what they are. But in totality, Easy, I think what you were getting at was if you put the 5 that they currently have juxtaposed with the 5 that they had last year, they're significantly better off right now than they were a year ago. Obviously, we know that a young player is going to bring young player stuff, though. So there's going to be some things that they have to figure out. But it's a very young offensive line. The oldest player is Cade Mays.
That's crazy.
Obviously, you're flipping Sewell to the left side. I think that it just when you look at this 5 as opposed to what the 5 was last year, it's significantly better.
Scott, one of the interesting things that you just said is that Blake Miller, he plays tall. Obviously, he has the size and he has the athleticism. It's just if he's going to be able to get out and use that athleticism. One point that I saw was the speed rush, and with him playing tall, does that concern you, early in his young career with a team that's trying to contend for a Super Bowl?
Yeah, obviously bull rush is going to be something that he's going to have to grow into. He's still young, so there's time. He's got to develop a little better anchor, for sure. But, I don't know. in relation to some of the other guys, you know, they all have those issues where, I mean, you can see Proctor get moved. You can see, I mean, it happens. But yes, with him being 6'7", he definitely has to be able to absorb contact a little better. Some of that stuff is all about where you're putting your hands. So we saw, you know, going back to the Super Bowl, we saw Will Campbell sit on the train tracks and, you know, think that he was just going to be able to absorb power. And it doesn't happen if you don't use your hands. It doesn't matter how long your arms are, right? So some of this is technical things where when you do see Miller get moved, there are things around, you need to use your hands a little earlier. You need to, where you're putting your hands, you know, so your punch timing has got to change a touch. So that's one of the things that I think is the biggest thing with him is getting him a little more aggressive with his hands. I think you can fend off some of that bull rush though, if you do get a little better hand placement and you do get a little more aggressive with it. You don't want to get too aggressive because then you're gonna, you know, if you miss, you're gonna be on your face. But yeah, I mean, you know, just like all the other really tall tackles, there's going to be pad level issues and things to resolve for sure.
Scott, I want to move to the second round. When I watched Derek Moore, I felt like he lined him up out wide, very similar to the way we do Hutch now. And then I hear Brad talk, and he speaks to him as a guy to give Hutch a spell. I see him more as an edge 3 with opportunity, obviously, to win over the edge 2 job. And I still like to see what he could do at this level against NFL tackles, power-wise as well, too. Where are you at with Derek Moore and your expectation year one?
It's interesting because I think in his makeup there's more desire to want to rush the passer right now than there is and I'm not saying he's a bad run defender, but he plays with a chip. The way he gets after the quarterback when he's rushing the passer, there's a lot of bull rush there. There's a lot of power in his game. He's got good length. He's big. He's got good quickness. He's got all that stuff. I think that with his game specifically, I would want the coaches and I would trust the coaches to be able to get more out of him in the running game than what we can see at times. But I think when you look at a guy who can run through tackles, he's got secondary moves. He's very, very physical. He's fiery. He's got all that stuff. It's can they get him dialed up in both phases? To me, this is a player who's going to come in and be a threat in passing situations more so than as a run defender right away. And to me, it fits. It fits really well with where the Lions are with DJ Wanham, and perhaps there's another free agent coming at that position. We don't know. I don't know. But he's got pop in his hands. He's got power. There is a lot of juice in his game when it comes to rushing the passer. These guys believe that you got to earn that right, though. So he's gonna have to bring it. I think that the best way to view him is as a significant upgrade over really anything they have on their roster behind Hutchinson, and then we'll just see what it looks like in camp, and they have a rotation. My expectation is he's going to rush the passer a lot. I don't know that he's, I think it's a little unrealistic to say he's going to be, an 8+ sack guy, but he's going to have opportunities. He's a good prospect. I know that the Lions, at the point where they traded up, he was the number 1 player on their board. If we trust what they're doing, and we trust their coaching staff to get the most out of these guys, it's good. It's good.
Where'd you have him in comparison to Zion, who went right after him, and your personal board?
So I thought I had them kind of flip-flopped. I thought Zion Young was a better run defender, but was very lacking in some ways as a pass rusher. And to me, Moore seemed like the more assertive, better pass rusher while being a more physical player. And they're guys with, to me, similar run defenders. But I think if you were looking for a guy who was going to be on the field on first and second down, maybe more so than a pass rush specialist, you might have leaned a little bit more towards Zion Young. But I think I think Moore might have more ceiling just because he's a better pass rusher with more physicality right now.
Hey, Scott, I did like the Derek Moore pick. Just to let you know, I don't crash out over every pick here. I thought the Derek Moore one was actually pretty good, pretty solid. They were able to upgrade there at the pass rush. But he was a team captain as well, and he did feel like a safe pick to go with, Miller to Moore in the first 2 rounds. And it seemed like last year with Ty Leak and with Tate Ratledge, it seemed like back-to-back seasons, pretty safe draft picks in terms of not extremely high upside guys. Do you think they've kind of shifted their draft mentality after what happened with Terrion and with Rakestraw?
I don't know that I don't know that I would necessarily view it like that they're not high upside guys. It's as much as guard is an impactful position. I think a guard doing a good job in pass protection might be more important for Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions than a tackle is. He does not want to feel or see interior pressure. So I don't know that I viewed a player like Ratledge as a low upside player. I understand Tyreek Williams is a defensive tackle, and it was a need for them. Just look at their roster now. If he can get a little bit of pass rush and a little bit of pocket push there, that's good. I don't view the 2 players, the first and second rounder this year, as low upside guys either. But I also do recognize what you're saying. They did feel like, well, they're there, and they're not. It's not super sexy what they did, but for their makeup, for what they do and what their needs were, I think it's good. I mean, they're very good players in the places where they were drafted. We'll see how it works out.
I think that's like a matter of the draft class too. Is like in a class where it is stretched so thin and upside guys, I'd rather just get on base too. Just get a guy is going to be able to contribute in some way, form, or fashion. I like.
Yeah,
this
but that's
draft,
the thing is, I think that these guys are being sold as just as singles when if Blake Miller plays to the level that they see, that it's not a single. Right? If Derek Moore gives them pass rush stuff that they don't currently have, it's not a single. It may not be home runs, but the thing about swinging for the fences and hitting home runs is you miss a lot too. And I do not think, Nick, to just a nod to what you were saying, I don't think after the 2024 draft you can take swings and miss. I just don't think they were in that position to want to do that.
Agreed. I think obviously you saw what happened, and this team kind of take a hit for them striking out those first 2 rounds. So I appreciate the insight on that, Scott.
Yeah. I wanted to ask once more too, because again, I feel like this draft I'll call Blake Miller a double. Derek Moore a single. I think everybody else probably a single after that too. Keith Abney maybe a double in terms of like where you got him at. But I want to ask real quick about Jimmy Rolder. I see a special teamer. I think he's more versatile than Malcolm in the ways that he can set an edge and maybe in a run game sense. But I don't know. I look at him, I think a special team. I don't really necessarily think of a guy that's really going to, he'll compete in camp because him and Malcolm are kind of the only 2 bodies at the will position. But other than that.
Yeah, in year 1, that's what he's going to be.
Okay.
I think he's a special teams guy in year 1 with the ability to grow into a future role as a will linebacker. He's really instinctive. He's a good tackler. He does not miss. He's very athletic. He just needs to, he needs to grow into his role. But we're talking about a 4th round pick, right? So even if the thing with him is that even if he works, there are going to be moments where he's going to get dusted by athletic tight ends in coverage. He just is. It's just kind of how it goes. I think he will play special teams early. I think he's a very solid football player with a future as a weak side linebacker. It's interesting because a lot of their picks are going to be guys who do play on special teams and are going to have to win roster spots that way. Because, there was a time, 6-7 years ago when you were going to draft a guy and he was going to make the team no matter what. Their roster's in a very different place now. So these guys are all going to have to compete.
Scott, talking about guys that are going to have to compete. Hopefully they're on the field. It is 2 positions. We got our star tight end, Sam Laporta, competing to get back after that back injury. And then the safety room, Brad didn't address this with draft picks, and they didn't address it. This does give me hope for these 3 players. And you're talking about all pro type talented players in Sam Laporta, Kirby Joseph, and Brian Branch, that all 3 can come back healthy at some point this season. Is that how you read into this as well? And are you expecting, an extension for, Brian Branch and Laporta if all things go, well?
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, it's a nod. It's a bit of a nod to the long-term health of all of them that they, specifically the two safeties. The fact that they didn't address that position, they have in free agency with Christian Izzian and Chuck Clark, but they're short-term guys. If they had taken a safety early, I would have had my suspicions that there were things up that maybe we didn't know about, but they didn't. And it, like you said, it does make me hopeful that we're going to see Kirby Joseph back at a level close to what he was, 2 years ago. And I think Branch will return, whenever he does, whether that's week 6, week 8, whatever it is. But you do have short-term replacements for all those guys. It is interesting. It was a really good safety group in this draft, and it was a really good tight end group. And the fact that they didn't, I'm surprised they didn't take a tight end. I'm still a little surprised by it because there were really good options there. But with Conklin coming in and Brock Wright still there, and at this point seems like getting Laporta back healthy, there's only so many picks. It's good, like you're saying. It's a good sign that they believe that they didn't need to do anything at either of those positions, which makes me hopeful and happy about the positions going forward.
Scott, I appreciate your time. I know we kept you kind of long here. Before I get you out, just one quick question. Who is your favorite pick out of this draft class minus Blake Miller?
I like Abney a lot. I think Abney's a really good player with a future as a slot corner. He is grabby. He is gonna take penalties. It's just in his makeup. He's super feisty and very competitive. We do have to have a conversation around Skylar Gil Howard, though. I wonder if this is a bit of a nod at a small scheme change for them, just a little one. He is 6 foot and 3/4 of an inch. He is 280 pounds. Watching him, he is a 3 technique. That is not the profile of. I think they did it with Mekhi Wingo a few years ago, but Mekhi Wingo was more of a 5 tech or more of a 4-eye in the LSU defense. He plays a little bit more outside, and he's very physical with his hands. He just kind of wants to bully things. Gil Howard is absolutely like a one-gap penetrating nightmare for offensive linemen. He is super difficult to block. It makes me hopeful that they are seeing that they need pressure to come from somewhere on the interior, and he's a guy that can give them that. They've passed on that in multiple drafts. They have not looked at that profile and had any interest in it. And this year they got a guy who missed half a season with an ankle injury, but there are moments on his tape where you go, wow. Aeneas Peebles was like that. Last year, he got taken by the Ravens in round 6, but the Lions just haven't been interested in that athletic profile or that physical profile for a while, and I wonder about it. They like the combination guys with the inside outside versatility. I hope that they play him as a 3 tech and just let him get up the field, because if they do that, they have something there, and it makes me wonder if they are going to go with 5-man fronts here and there in pass rushing situations and just let a guy like that go. Super interesting.
I think they should. Scott, again, I appreciate your time. I could sit here and do this all day.
Shout out.
We got to let Kish get out of here. Where can people check out your full podcast, your breakdown of the entirety of the draft?
Detroit Lions Podcast.
All right. I might hit you back up
Thanks,
during the
guys.
week or back or something. Or maybe just call you and talk about
Good
it.
to talk to
Appreciate
you,
brother.
Scott.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for the insights.
That's good.
All good, guys. Thanks. See ya.
All right, with that, we got to pay some bills. We'll come back. We're talking the rest of the draft class, too. But first, let me tell you guys about Art and Jake's. Art and Jake's is where I go for my UFC Saturdays, my NFL Sundays, and everything in between. Matter of fact, I watched the Montreal Canadiens choke game away there yesterday. Make sure you head over to Art and Jake's, a sports bar setting and fine dine flavor, Chris.
And let me tell you about Buddy's Pizza, because today it is not too late. Dinner time is approaching, so make sure you are supporting Buddy's today, because 20% of all items sold, of all sales, goes to the soup kitchen, and they get $1 for every pizza and salad for the rest of the month for the veggie pizza, that is. So Buddy's Pizza, make sure you are tapped in and supporting a good cause today, and today only. 20% of all sales. Check it out.
Check it out.
Congratulations to the real coach of the year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports. Get ready for the ultimate sports experience. Join former University of Michigan star and NFL sensation Braylon Edwards alongside the charismatic Shep.
Braylon Edwards, touchdown Michigan!
As they break down the latest in sports like never before. Tune into the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Touchdown, Braylon Edwards!
Weekdays from 2 to 4 p.m. only on the Woodward Sports Network. Don't miss out on hot topics, insider insights, and the banter that keeps you coming back for more.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
This is a hungry bear. This is Carl and Jeff. Carl isn't worried because he has focused energy to spare thanks to Thrive energy pouches. Jeff didn't use Thrive when Carl offered. The bear is happy about that.
Don't just survive, thrive.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Shout out to Planet Fitness. It's the home of the judgment-free zone, and they have over 2,700 clubs nationwide with 50 in Metro Detroit. Access to the Black Card Spa, where you can recover with an hydro massage and other innovative amenities. Bring a free guest anytime, just $25 a month. We're all strong on this planet. Planet Fitness.
Black Rock
Bar and Grill. Listen, we just got back from the Sioux. Myself, D-Mac, Spinny. We had a great time. There's Black Rocks all over the great state of Michigan. Just visit blackrockrestaurants.com. They got the best deals on Tuesdays and Thursdays and more. You have your draft parties there, have a drink there. Take your girl out to Black Rock Restaurants Bar and Grill.
Shout out.
What up, though? Welcome back to What Awaits Live, WoodSports.com. Kohloff, Chris, Porto, the commish.
What's happening?
Smash like button, be a friend, tell a friend, and share the stream.
Share it.
Nick, you banned Weezy? Did you fix it?
I don't know how to, so no, I did not. If you can fix that, that'd be
goodness.
great. They don't give me that kind of power up here. You know that. No, I'm just kidding. Shout out Weezy. I apologize. That was all in my pocket, and I have
They
done
don't give you that power, you did it.
I have done that on multiple occasions, not just to Weezy, but my phone being in my pocket. So shout out to everybody in the chat. If I muted you, hopefully you didn't deserve it, but maybe you might have.
Oh, man. How do I
shout out.
It doesn't say I can unhide him, so he must not be hidden.
Yeah.
Maybe put him in timeout.
But yeah, shout out to Scott. I thought that was some really insightful comments that Scott had. And, you know, he is the calm, cool, and collected man when it comes to talking about these prospects. And that's why it's so good to talk to him, because obviously I get my emotions involved big time when my money's involved, when my fandom is. And obviously that's when you see some blow-ups, when I do not agree.
Playing with his money.
Playing with my money.
Playing with my money. Playing with my emotions.
But I thought he had a great point about Blake Miller and something that he can fix long-term, and it'll make him a lot better of a right tackle, is that hand placement.
Yeah.
I think that is a fixable solution because he does have a lot of athleticism. I need to see it a little bit more at times on display when he's going side to side instead of just, vertical. But the hand placement, if we can get that down with Hank Fraley, I think you're going to see, a much better Blake Miller than you saw in college.
Yeah. And Blake Miller, again, coming out just pure tape, pure skill, arguably second best, third best tackle in this class. That's third best, actually, just straightforward. Fanu, Manoa, the only two guys over him. As far as like a refined product, Blake Miller's the best coming out. It's just like, where's that upside that Amon-Ra Freething or Kaden Proctor has in comparison? But I'm over talking about Blake Miller. We talked about Blake Miller for 3 shows now, 2 shows.
Beating a dead horse now.
Yeah, I'm done with it.
I
want
to
talk
give
about
him some life there for the first time in 3
We don't care.
shows.
We don't agree with your opinion anyway.
You were figuring out how to get Weezy out of the shadow realm, so I was just making.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Right.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Weezy, if you're out there, comment. I don't know. Maybe make another channel. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Weezy. Weezy, comment from another thing. Let us know what happened.
He'll be fine.
We'll try to figure it out. Moving on though from that, I want to move into the second round a little bit. We talked to Scott about Derek Moore. I heard on the BDE today that Neil, I love Neil, by the way, but we know he has the tone when it comes to University of Michigan. He deployed or introduced Derek Moore as that solution. We no longer can say that Hutch needs help because help has arrived. Me personally, if you guys couldn't get the gist of it in the last segment in the interview with Scott, I don't think this is a great draft class in total. Not just for the Detroit Lions, just for everyone across the board. And it's been reported as such. I don't look at at Derek Moore as that savior. I think obviously the upside's there with any rookie that he maybe can become that. But if you listen, as a matter of fact, we have BH on Derek Moore in that video in there.
Yes, we do.
Can you play the video of Brad Holmes talking about Derek Moore?
Do you guys want that 3-cammed, or do you just want...
You just play it straight up.
All right, let me find it in here.
I think you guys should all pay attention to what he's saying.
Here we go.
Can you explain your vision for the defensive line and how Derek, right, like what he can do on the edge to complete that? Because you have been, picky and people in this room have been on you a little bit, but obviously you're looking for something, to
you complete get on that. My ass now? Or, Probably not. It's a good question. Just because what Derek is going to bring, to the defense is, first of all, like you said, you want to call it just being very selective on the type of guys that we get. Hutch takes a lot of snaps, man. So just to have another body that literally can spell Hutch in that, in that rush rotation. When you line up, in nickel and sub defense, a guy that can line up on the opposite, a guy that can line up inside. Shep is going to put the guys in the best position to what they do best, and so that's what he he showed on tape is he can set edges in the run game. He can rush outside. He can rush inside. And I'm quite sure that's what how Chef's going to utilize him.
I think that's extremely important for you guys to hear and take in. This is not me telling you my opinion on it. This is Brad Holmes telling you that he looked at the guy he traded up for in this draft class. Remember, it's a weak draft class. Traded up for Derek Moore, and he's speaking of him as somebody who's going to give Hutch a spell. He's speaking as someone who's going to work in rotation. I think he can win out the job at edge too, just because we're kind of bare. The cabinet's bare there. I think DJ Wanham is more than capable. I think he probably will end up doing that. But even if you watch the tape at Michigan, you look at Derek Moore, he lines up out wide the same way we run Hutch now. So I don't know if he's necessarily ready to come in and play 5 up like straight away. I think he could in time and probably will at some point, but I think we got to look at him and we have to temper our expectations. Listen to the general manager. Again, it's not just my opinion. The general manager spoke of him as somebody to give Hutch a spell and a working rotation. There obviously is the upside he becomes more than that, but I think as of right now, that's probably what it's going to be. Again, of course, obviously those sub fronts, 5-man fronts, you have him in there as an edge rusher too.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I heard is we believe in him to set edges. So that makes me believe that he can be a guy in the run game. And that's his biggest question mark right now.
Yeah.
For Brad Holmes saying that, to me, that's what I see is that he can be there even opposite Hutch at times setting edges. That means he can get in there on first down, get in there on second down, not just pass rushing snaps. So to me, that makes me think Brad is even higher on him. So I got a different take from that one, Easy. But I wanted. He literally said he can
give
set
Hutch a
edges.
spell.
But right here, I believe that means he could get in there first or second if he's talking about setting edges. You're not setting edges on third
But he
and
quite
whatnot.
literally said to give Hutch a spell in rotation.
When I talk about Derek Moore, I'm not going crazy over this cat either, but I will say he's a good player. Like, I just don't see this 11, 12, even 10 sack upside. I think you're talking about a guy that's going to be anywhere from 6 to 9 range in terms of sack potential, probably after his rookie year. That's what I see out of Derek Moore throughout this one, and I think that is extremely valuable to add to this team, especially if he can set the edge like Brad Holmes was alluding to. So I think that brings his game to a new level if he's able to do that way better than he was at the University of Michigan.
Yeah, guys, I got a question for you. Was AQM help for Aiden Hutchinson? Was that, like, sufficient?
No.
No?
I mean, he cleaned up, when Hutch is getting double teamed every once in a while. But I know what AQM is.
Okay, well, then Derek Moore definitely is not help for Aiden Hutchinson. And I don't think...
It's coming from a Michigan fan in you, too.
Right. And if we're being realistic with, how Brad builds this team, I don't think we're going to get the quote-unquote help that people are looking for Hutchinson. I think best-case scenario, you have a couple of, solid role-playing edges. You've got DJ Wanham, who's, like all 3 downs, that kind of guy. And then you have, your Derek Moore now that can really, bull rush, collapse the pocket, get after the quarterback. But he is very clearly deficient in the run game. And that was, what we ragged on AQM for. When I, watched him at Michigan, when, the other team was running the ball and Derek Moore was on the field, a lot of the times they wanted to run it towards his, direction. Now, I'm not saying that Derek Moore cannot develop the ability to truly set the edge and plug up some gaps, but he's got a lot of work to do.
Okay. Again, there's always the upside. And I think Derek Moore provides that. Former captain of Michigan, they played in NFL style. I think the fact that they traded up for him even tells you that too. And I think another tell for you to say, have some promise there, or at least hope that he become good, is I think the Ravens are going to take him. I think that's why Brad forced the trade up. You got Baltimore, which is his hometown. You got Jesse Minter, his former DC, who probably helped recruit him. Also, they took Zion Young immediately after. So clearly targeting the position in itself. So I think the fact that Brad Holmes and Costa wanted this guy, there's the upside there. But I'm saying year one, I don't think anybody should look at this as the savior for Aiden Hutchinson. Can it be that? Sure. Can I fucking fly? Maybe. I don't know. I'm hopeful it's the case, but I just think year one, we got to be realistic with it. Probably a little more rotation piece.
I'm with you for a second, but I still believe Brad trading up for Derek Moore. This screams to me that this is a Brad guy. Like, he has faith in him that he's gonna be playing more than people expect. But I will say, I saw in the chat from one of the most brilliant chat members, he doesn't show up in big games. Well, dating back to the national championship run, he had a sack in the Big Ten championship game, and then he had a sack in the semi against Bama. So showed up there. And the following year, he showed up in the bowl against Bama with 2 sacks. So he shows up there, and he's always showed up against rival MSU. Obviously, they've been bad, but that is always a big game within the state of Michigan. So he was a big factor for the team as a true sophomore, winning a national championship. So have to disagree with that one. If you want to talk about OSU, the last season obviously didn't show up there, but I just believe in Derek Moore to be a good, productive player for this team. And even if you want to talk about, Clemson in a light for times, and that organization and school was kind of in just a shit show and disarray last season, you want to talk about the school of Michigan the last 2 seasons and what the whole entire program was going through under Sharon Moore. This guy might be, a player waiting to just explode and be put in the right system with, the right coaching around him that believe in him. Like, I know Derek Moore was a captain. Thank God he was there as a true senior on that defense, or else, with the leadership that they had, I just think that's an underrated storyline as well, that I think Derek Moore could be, not even hitting, close to his potential yet, with some true leadership around him that the Detroit Lions have. It could see him even ascend to a different level as well.
I think you're just a Michigan fan. Michigan Slavy.
I'm not.
He started beatboxing.
I'm not over here slamming Sun Cruisers about Jimmy Rolder, I'll tell you that.
No, that's for sure. Jacob Craig says, JC, cheese and rice. Just be happy. Every damn draft pick needs work. We got an edge and tackle, which we needed. We are happy, brother, but we have to give our opinion on what we think the player is going to be. Otherwise, we'd sit here for the first 5 minutes. Hey, you guys have we got a tackle? Yeah. You guys have we got an edge? Great. Let's wrap up the show. Like, brother, we're giving our opinion on what we think the guy's going to be. That's what this is about. But I just think in terms of, like, the conversation that came up on BDE, is he going to, is he the savior for Hutch? I don't think we get there yet.
Did Neil say he was?
Huh?
Did Neil say he was?
Yes.
Excuse me.
Yeah, he implied that he was.
So
Neil implied no more excuses for Hutch.
Is this a setup for him to just completely?
For sure it was. For sure. But you guys know how Neil rolls with the Michigan fans. He's just trolling you guys. But I think for Michigan fans to be responsible about it, gotta listen to Brad Holmes' his own goddamn words. Rotational. Give Hutch a spell. Even look at when he played in college, it was very similar to what Hutch is now, lining out wide. They got to get him comfortable in the role they got to switch him to play alongside Hutch, which is lined up just a shade outside the offensive tackle. But we'll continue this. I do want to talk about Keith Abney. That's another big one, too. We'll get to all that and more. Maybe Rolder. Guys, let us know what you want to talk about first in the chat. But first, we're going to pay some bills. Let me tell you about Gold Crown, or is it Mad Packs right now?
We can do Mad Packs and then come back to Gold
All right,
Crown.
let's go.
Shout out to Mad Packs. You guys see it all the time in the Mad Pack Minute from our boy Spenmo. It truly is the best kush in the game. You guys know what it is. If you really want to turn up your night to a great level or even wind down, there's only one way to go, and it's with Mad Packs. Remember, don't smoke and drive. Just do it when you're cruising at the crib. All right, let's go. Mad Packs, no better joint in the game.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
I've been pre-gaming. Instead of just fucking around with that stuff. Am I back, chat? Can you guys hear me?
5 stars.
Oh shit.
Nothing yet.
Here we go.
An echo?
Huh?
Yes, there is an echo, but I don't. Oh, there we go.
We good?
Yeah.
Can you hear?
Came through.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna take this out then.
Oh yeah, I'm taking that too. Yeah.
There's an echo
No.
on the thing, but it might be for us.
All right, we're back.
Let's go.
Apologize for that. We're saying, do the Pistons deserve to be talked about after that shit? I'm not in the mood for. We will. I'm probably towards the end of the show. Probably no mailbag. We'll just talk Pistons for it. But like, they pissed me off. However, I will deliver this good news. Scott Foster on the call tonight.
I don't want to hear shit about a referee. Have some pride.
I'm with you, but I'm just letting you guys know it's getting time. Actually, matter of fact, let me check this real quick.
0 for 3 I saw the Magic are with Scott Foster on the call this year.
Let's go.
Yes, Magic are 0
That
3.
is what I saw.
And then I saw something I think from Keith Black, I believe his name is on Twitter, where he mentioned that the 0-4 season, the Pistons went down 2-1 to the Magic. Is that true?
I thought it was
I meant to double check it.
I thought it was 0-3
Was it 0-3?
is what I heard. Maybe.
But they came back and won the series. And another thing too to make guys feel better. We were this to the Knicks last year, and the Knicks still closed out on us. Remember? It was back and forth. We could have catch a win at home.
Yeah, I think this is a different situation. This Piston team is last year's Piston team was a lot different than what you saw out of the. Last year's Piston team was a lot different than what you saw out of the Orlando Magic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Orlando can hit you 4 or 5 different ways. Like, however you want it. You want Franz to go off. You want Desmond Bane. You want Paolo. Wendell Carter's ripping threes and putting up 17 rebounds right now.
Yeah.
Like, this team is insane, what I'm seeing. But that doesn't discredit, the Pistons and what they've not been able to do in this game. I mean, but if you wanted to hear a hot take, make sure to check out BDE Energy, where Stick blames everything on Cade Cunningham. Talk about hot take alert, but doesn't, would never criticize King Brad. So that is so crazy to me. And his King Jared Goff. So that one's an insane take.
I think everyone knows. We love Stick. Stick's got poop sports takes. At least for sure when it comes to Cade Cunningham.
And I think one point that he did make that was good is the turnovers need to get cut down a little bit. Let's keep it around 5. You can't be pushing 10. So I want to see Cade control the ball tonight. And, Jalen Duren play with some Detroit pride. Like, come on. You were due up for an almost $200 million contract. You look like buns. And I think he will respond today because I don't think he's that player that takes the criticism lightly. Easy. I think Jalen Duren responds tonight.
Dude, he's had 2 games to respond.
This is like back against the wall.
This is
back against the wall.
Like this is but too many times that have been the case with him for like he would have responded by now. Because beyond it being like your poor performance, It's also your fucking ex-girlfriend's like current boyfriend. Like, you have every excuse to show up for this game, and you haven't.
Yeah.
Now, I give full credit to the Magic, though, on being a good team, at least a good defensive team. Offensively, yes, there's inconsistencies there. Same with us. We're like almost mirrored, but they're a little bit more talented. With Jalen Duren, I just don't think it's going to come this series. But the one thing I think he still could provide, which there should be no excuse for, is the rebounds. It's specifically, like the Orlando Magic are grabbing way too many offensive rebounds for my comfort. It makes no goddamn sense considering what the Detroit Pistons were this year. It's driving me crazy. If you're not going to produce on offense, that's fine. I don't necessarily look at Jalen Duren as a skilled offensive player. I look at him as a guy whose game kind of dependent on Cade Cunningham or playing bad teams. In regular season, yeah, Cade was out, Duren still balling. Who'd you play between then? He also was your number one option, still getting fed the ball. His game's dependent on who's going to be able to feed him the ball. I get it, especially against a good defensive team like that. But where you still should be productive is grabbing some goddamn boards. And that's what's pissing me off.
And but what we've seen at times this season throughout Jalen Duren, even in the All-Star game at times, this guy was getting out with the rebound. You know, he was out. And now all of these lanky defenders are on our rebounds immediately, stripping the ball. Even Cade Cunningham, when he's getting a rebound, they're getting stripped at the point of attack before they get out on the break. So that's a point of Jalen Duren's game where he did create offense for himself. He hasn't been able to do that. And to me, this is one of the big things that, I've highlighted is the playoff difference and other teams, 100% getting back in defensive transition and your offense not being able to get out as much because other teams are a little bit more careful with the ball. This is why you've seen the Pistons team struggle at times is because they were a try-hard type team. I don't want to discredit them for everything, but they were legitimately the hardest trying team in the NBA. Yeah. And in this day and age, that means something in terms of getting like regular season wins. If you're trying harder, if you're playing more people, if you're resting.
Yeah, rest days.
Exactly. And they are. And they are that. Yeah. And this 8 seed is very good. It's time to look in the mirror and say, we got to play better X's and O's, and we got to try harder than this team that's, obviously that cares more right now.
Yeah, because loose balls, rebounds, man.
Yeah, loose balls, rebounds, everything's been going Orlando.
I didn't want to talk Pistons, but that just came off the heart.
Draft.
Back to draft, but after we take a quick break, tell us about Loom.
I'll tell you about Loom. You guys know what it is, one of the best dispensaries in the game, but it's my favorite here at Woodward Sports. And we are taking over Loom for their massive New Buffalo grand opening event on Saturday and Sunday, May 2nd and 3rd. We're talking 30% off the entire store, 200 free goodie bags for the first 200 customers, and chances to win a PS5, Xbox S, or a big screen TV 3 times daily. You heard that right, daily. Come out and see the Braylon Edwards Show and the Heavyweights live on Saturday at 4 p.m. Then catch the Heavyweights again as they announce the winner of the $5,000 weekend getaway for two to Tulum, Mexico, sponsored by S'more House on Sunday at 5 p.m. live on Woodward Sports. Be at the grand opening event to enter. There will be cornhole, top brands on site, and massive deals all weekend long. Don't miss out. We'll see you at Loom Cannabis in New Buffalo, May 2nd and May 3rd. Bunch of prizes. We're going to be there. Make sure you guys come. Have a good time at Loom at the New Buffalo brand opening.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
How do you think you won? This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
As the weather heats up and patio season officially kicks off, there's nothing better than an ice cold beer. And no beer says spring quite like Sam Adams Cherry Wheat. Get $5 shorts of Sam Adams Cherry Wheat at any Art and Jake's location across Michigan on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Light, refreshing, brewed with real Michigan cherries, smooth enough to sip all game, win or lose. Sam Adams Cherry Wheat. It's honestly the first beer I ever had, and I have been drinking it ever since. Sam Adams Cherry Wheat. Make sure you guys go give it a shot. They're delicious. Drink responsibly.
What up, though? Welcome back. Whatever Waits Live, WorldSports.com. Easy by Nicholas Kohloff. My guy,
let's go.
Gordo in the building as well.
What's happening?
That video, if you got it.
Oh, yeah, Abney. Hold on. Here we go.
And then Abney was the same thing. We've evaluated Abney, multiple times throughout this process, dating back to last fall. And every single time, I always enjoyed. I think he might tilt a little bit more in the nickel, but, at this level. But I do think he can play outside for sure. But he's another instinctive guy that, he can find the football. He can trigger. He can tackle. He's pretty sticky. He was just a simple one because we had him ranked, a couple rounds higher than where he was. So that was a no-brainer for us.
I think when I look at Keith Abney personally, for me, by the way, too, I love, Brad Holmes was kept it as real as possible. At least I've never been more in line with his thinking on these draft picks post-draft, like his actual takes on them, expectations for them, the Derek Moore stuff. Him saying, spell for Hutch, rotation. That's how I felt. Abney, you heard him say it, nickel. And I think this is almost a more athletic, maybe more refined version of Amik Robinson who just left. But this one, again, I've been kind of pumped the brakes in the entire draft class. This one, I feel like you could let fly a little bit. I truly feel like between Ezian, and that's kind of it right now for the McCreary as well.
Yeah.
For the nickel position. But I think this kid's truly got a chance to win it over and be your starting nickel, and I think that's a defense I want to be in moving forward in 2026. When we look at the top defenses across the league last year, they played nickel more than 75% of the time. I want to join that club. I want to be an elite defense. I think this kid possibly could be a piece of it. Tackling machine. Stops slants insane. I got a crazy stat by him. But just in his last 2 years starting, his last 25 games, he got 21 pass breakups. I believe 7 interceptions.
5.
One of the most productive corners in the draft in total. I believe Dane Brugler had him as his number 9th ranked guy in the class at the position. And mind you, that's him playing outside corner. Inside, he's got to be chilling a lot more. But I got to pull up that slant. What do you think about Keith Abney? That slant.
I think he'd help. I think he can help this defense a lot, especially with Amik Robertson being gone. And the big thing about Abney is I need to see that, bulldog type mentality. Obviously, with being a short corner, you need to be able to get up in somebody's grill, talk that shit, and back it up. And that's what Keith Abney's going to have to do for this Detroit Lions team, especially without a guy like Amik Robertson. So to me, that's the biggest thing. Can you back it up? Because you did it, obviously, at Arizona State, and you were a big piece of that when he was, defending passes and having 5 picks over the last 2 seasons. That screams to me that he can make a big play. And, it's not just all passes defended. So anything to help this team, and if Hutch is able to get in there, get those hands up, make the quarterback just go a split second faster than he wants to. I think Abney's a guy that can get up on those slants and possibly make a play going the other way.
Yeah, I felt like some of the Detroit Lions have been killed with for like my life, honestly. Like those
quick slants.
Yeah, and it's kind of like the thing in the NFL too. Like that's the largest part of the field.
Yeah.
It's the hardest to defend. Like obviously all that makes sense, but this is the slant stat I wanted to bring up. This is from James Foster, a No Flags film. He puts the film behind it. But Keith Abney versus quick slants in 2025. 12 targets. That's the most in college football, in the FBS at least. He only allowed 3 receptions for 36 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception, and 5 pass breakups. That's insane. The quick slant's like the easiest route to hit in any level of football. That's just one you get out right away. 3 receptions on the most targeted guy in the league?
That's insane.
That is nuts.
I love that stat, Easy. You know, I can dive into the stats a little bit here. And when Arizona State went on that unbelievable run a couple years ago, I look back to their conference championship. What did Abney do against Iowa State? Well, he had 4 tackles. He had an interception. That was the game before going up against Texas in the college football quarterfinal. What did he end with? Couple tackles, 2 passes defended.
Yeah.
Like the guy puts up numbers in big-time spots. So that, to me, gives faith where he can be a problem in the nickel. Will it come immediately? He's probably going to have to get used to the size of the NFL and obviously the speed. But everything that I've seen from Abney and him being ranked higher than where he was drafted, I have to say I like him in that nickel spot where he's not going to be asked to go cover a 6'3" wide out on the outside.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like he will be put in a spot to be successful, and I love to hear what Brad, had to say about him.
Yeah, so Dane Brugler had him as a 61 rank prospect.
Yep.
9th ranked corner. And what pick did we end up taking him with? Did I write it down at all?
100.
I mean, that's
maybe
that's
2.
nuts.
I think it was 114. Or was that
5th rounder Keith Abney?
And he fell, dude. Like that's a 2nd round pick per like everyone. I think ESPN had him ranked up there in the top 60s. I know damn well Dane Brugler had him in the top 75. Like, and then you grabbed them in the 5th round. That's a great grab for Brad Holmes. Again, I'm not telling you all Pro Bowl or nothing like that, but just like you're gonna miss a little bit of that Amik Robertson. I think if you have a question mark about who's gonna play nickelback for you, which is an important position in the modern NFL, I think this kid's more than capable of doing it. I think he believes he's going to attack you in the run game. And obviously, just ready to call for a couple of stats in the passing game that were kind of elite, especially in the inside slants, where if you're playing nickel, you're already in the inside. You're going to be dealing with a lot of inside shit, especially in zone coverage, which I hope we move to. Gordon, do you have any strong takes on Keith?
Not necessarily. I'm excited for what he can bring to this defense. I think for us to go get another guy that can like play that nickel corner, as well as the pick before him with Jimmy. It makes me feel like Shep is gonna be a little bit more accepting to criticism and change the scheme up just a little bit.
Yeah.
Even the Derek Moore pick. These are all guys that feel like they're more in a 3-4 scheme or, more
5-man front.
Use of like that nickel or that Viper, that hybrid kind of position.
Yeah.
So honestly, I like what I see. It took me a second to really like think about it. But after looking at all these guys that he's drafted, the puzzle pieces are coming together a little bit. Now, this whole thing could fall apart if, we just come out and run base, 98
I don't think they will.
snaps. But, hopefully Shep learned his lesson a little bit.
Yeah, I think going back to like just Dan Campbell speaking in the offseason, like him have some time to look over the tape and him ask like, yeah, we love base, but if we don't have the players, we're not going to do it. Right now, I said about the left guard position, I even more so feel this way about the will linebacker position. If there's a competition, then you don't have one. You don't have a will linebacker that you're ready to try out there every single game. So, no, I think base defense is going to be obviously not all the way gone, but very limited this year. I think you're going to see a lot more of that nickel guy on there, maybe another 5th edge rusher. Like stuff, I think that's going to be the case for sure. And as you said, this draft class is decorated that way too.
I'm excited to see what this cat can do.
What are you smiling about?
In terms of this.
The chat, it's like
I saw some crazy shit in the chat.
Take a look at this cornerback. He only measures 9'5", 9.5".
fucking midgets. No,
He is only
I'm
5'9",
kidding, I'm
7/8. Like I saw some people in there saying he's 5'11". That's not the case.
No,
he
he's
is definitely
like
the smaller
5'9".
side. He is Lydia Meek 2.0.
Hey, that's my height. I know my height when I see my height.
Yeah.
I can say, like, normally 5'9", if I got some, like, Air Forces on 5'10" on a good day, you know what I'm saying? But 5'9" is probably what we're at.
Yeah, boy, 5'9". He knows 5'11", borderline 6 foot.
And that's why I say he's got to bring that, pit bull mentality to this Detroit Lions defense. To get on the field early, you're going to have to prove that you can cover guys inside, get feisty with them, and, definitely show some bark, as Amik Robertson did day in and day out.
Yeah.
So
He's
I know he
dog
fell
too.
off a little bit, this season,
Yeah.
Amik a little bit, but, I hope Abney can kind of be what Amik was even last year.
Yeah. Well,
And
Meek-
then
we
grow
didn't-
into being, a really solid nickel cornerback. And if you're taking that in the 5th round, this might be one of Brad's later round draft picks that really shows up for this
The
team.
other part too, Nick.
And you need them.
You already have McCreary and Isian, even if it doesn't work out. Like it's a great pick, honestly.
Yeah, I don't hate this one at all. This actually might be one of my favorite picks from Brad in this draft. I think it's Abney and Derek Moore for me.
Yeah.
Guys, can I mention one thing real quick that was a big question for me in this draft?
Yeah.
Kendrick Law. I know it's a
Love him.
bottom 5th round pick.
Yeah.
But that's something that really confused me. I felt that we were plenty deep at wide receiver.
Yeah.
I think it's something that wasn't really necessary. And
BPA.
there was still some guys on the board that I really wanted. Harold Perkins Jr. But yeah, I'm honestly, out of all the picks in this draft, I'm the most confused about Kendrick Law. What did you guys think about that pick?
I think he's sick, to be honest with you. Like, this guy's gonna be badass in kick return, in my personal opinion.
Okay.
No, I know Dominic. Well, to be honest with you, too, like in the field, he's very limited offensively in terms of like go watch his highlights. You would think he's a fucking running back. The amount of times he's running out of the backfield. I mean, he's
for a receiver,
reminds me
he's
of
a
like
little
like the earlier years of Wandell Robinson or that one ugly ass motherfucker that was there too, who got traded to the Chiefs. I can't think of his name. Either way, he's gadgety as as a weapon on the offensive side of the ball right now. But you go watch him in that yak, dude. He reminds me of a running back. He's breaking tackles, he spin moves, jukes. He got that dog in him. Former Alabama guy, 4-star recruit coming out. Like there's something there. Quick takeoff speed, but I think as of right now, you're looking at as a special teamer. And as far as the draft pick goes, I mean, Brad's going BPA, man. Like there may be guys that you liked. First, we always know his boards differently, but like he ain't drafted for need. Although it felt like in this draft a little bit more than any others, he's gonna grab the best guy there. I think that's where Kendrick Law was.
Hey, did you want to get another break off, or do you?
Yeah,
want
we're gonna
to
get another
just
break
hit
off
that
for
at
sure.
the
I
end
think
and
I
right
think
off?
for me it's definitely the kick return. It's the 4.4540. It's gonna have to be, especially with Khalif now with the traitor Chicago Bears and Ben Johnson. So to me, that's what this screams. And I think you need a explosive guy. So hopefully he can make some magic happen. And it was about time we probably brought somebody new in here. Not Grant Stewart.
Yeah, that was
returning
fucking
kicks.
nuts, dude.
Do you
Khalif
think we
left
learned?
last year.
Do you think we
gotta
learned?
love it, and I think Lovett looked great in camp. I honestly I don't know if he necessarily steals that job from him, but there are kick return setups in the new form where there's two guys out there. It depends like which way they're kicking it.
Yeah.
I think Law ends up being that other dude. But let's hit a quick break. Come back, mailbag, Pistons, whatever you guys want. But first, tell us about Pure Psychiatry.
Pure Psychiatry. We talk about sports every day. Wins, losses, pressure, expectations. But real life, that's not always easy. At Woodward Sports, you're never alone, and neither is your mental health journey. Pure Psychiatry provides a personalized psychiatric care designed specifically for you, not a cookie-cutter plan. With 16 locations in Michigan and 2 in Ohio, they make getting help accessible and comfortable. If you've been thinking about taking that first step, visit PurePsychMI.com today.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment. from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shaq Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Shout out to Dr. Jeff S. Pierce. You guys know him. He's the injury insider. You know where he does numbers? On our channel and in real life as he gets people right. You guys can tap in with Dr. Jeff S. Pierce at 248-426-9944. You can he's powered by Michigan Sports and Spine Center, or check him out at MRI of Southfield. You can see him on Big D Energy and the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep. Or you can check him out on all of our videos when we clip him, and he gets you guys the right inside scoop that you need on all injuries. Dr. S. Pierce, check him out.
People are shitting on Trajan in the chat. I think what Trajan did was responsible, to be honest with you. And
It's
I think
so
he did it for a reason.
crazy the love and hate that GMs get in this town.
It is very
Everybody has
polarizing.
their guys. Brad Holmes is the majority of
Yeah.
everybody's guy. So if you say one thing bad about the Lions, you're going to get ripped for it. I think a lot of people are out on Trajan right now for what's happening currently,
But he kind of told you guys straight up it was going to be an evaluation year.
which I thought was a little disrespectful
But I think, like,
to the fan base.
imagine we grabbed that extra guy this year. I don't know. We still might pay Darren a lot of money, actually. I think that's going to change. That's the most interesting thing to come out of this series, win or lose. How much you paying that guy? Cannot be a max anymore after that shit.
Not 40 mil.
I'm with you.
Not,
it might be a blessing this happened. I
35.
mean, he's only 22. He could definitely go up from here. Like I'm hoping this ain't it, but like you can't give that $40 million.
Okay, and if he balls out in the next series, if he
I'm
gets
sorry.
a mismatch on, you know.
I still saw this series. I mean, it depends what balling out is. You know, in the context of it too. Like, is it his whole entire offensive game is depending on somebody else? You know, I don't think you pay someone like that $40 million. Unless they were, swept this series and dominated it, then I'm with you there. But if not, no, dude, I can't do that. I'd be pissed off if you did it.
Yeah,
and
I'd
if
be
you grab
pissed.
somebody at the deadline, we may not figure this out. We found out the hard way after paying him that he wasn't worth it.
Yeah, I need to see a lot more from Jalen Duren tonight, and I think we will. I just cannot believe in my mind that he can put out a full season of showing up night in, night out. You get put up against Wendell Carter, and you turn to, Darko. You turn to
That's why it's disappointing, man. You have every reason to show
terrible
up.
Andre Drummond.
You have every reason to show up for the series.
I think he shows up tonight, and the Pistons get back on track. I am so sick of the negative shit right now. I need a little positivity from the Pistons, but I truly believe that the Pistons win tonight. And I think Jalen Duren probably puts up 15 and 10. I'm not going to go too crazy. 15 and 10. Would you take that right now if I sold you 15 and 10 from Jalen Duren? And do the Pistons win
Was
if
Scott
he goes
Foster
15
on the
and 10?
call? Hell yeah, I would.
All right.
Expect Duren to get some calls tonight with Scott Foster out there. Real quick, I want to read this mailbag, Nick, because you got bullied today. And I think that you important you hear this, all right? This is from Freddie Felt 313. He says, Nick's the realist on Woodward Sports. His so-called shtick is showing emotion. Better than pretending not to care or always been in the need of coaching your ownership.
Shout out to Freddie. You're my dog. Shout out KJ. Shout out to Xavier. Shout out to a lot of the guys. Steve-O. Appreciate the love and support in the chat. Honestly, it means the world. Last year I got more hate, or this year I got more hate, KJ. I think it's because we missed the playoffs, and people know that Brad Holmes isn't, Jesus Christ himself. So when you tell people that, they get a little hurt, especially coming off a non-playoff appearance. And, yeah, people love to, follow the herd as, and that's okay if that's the way you want to go about it. I just think you have to look at things critically sometimes. And I'm one of the very few on right now that will say that, because a couple people specifically, 11-1, will just go and, say whatever Brad does is the right move.
I think you got hate because tackle was a clear need. They grabbed tackle. Like, you crashed out as if they grabbed a receiver.
I was crashing out more because of the Ruben Bain. Because of the Ruben Bain thing. I just mentioned Monroe Freeling.
Yeah.
Because I liked him better as a prospect.
But tackle was still
That's how I felt. I think there's a difference once again, but I crashed out more importantly because Ruben Bain was 2 picks ahead of you, and I truly believe, could you imagine Ruben Bain on this team instead of Derek Moore? Like, you're talking about a Super Bowl contending team. Ruben Bain, Aiden Hutchinson, both safeties back healthy. You got your all-pro in Jack Campbell.
I think we're foolish for even allowing ourselves to think Ruben Bain was ever going to be a thing for a team that drafts football guys and character.
And a team that drafts football guys and character hasn't won a playoff game in 800-plus days, Easy.
But you gave yourself the expectation. You should have been pissed the entire time knowing it was going to happen.
I'm always going to have my take, and I think that is the point where they don't switch up some of their talks. And I just believe that's why the crash out became so hard. It wasn't as much about the Freeling thing, which I thought was a better prospect. It was more about Ruben Bain getting that true difference maker, which I believe could have got you into Super Bowl contention with that secondary and that pass rush, especially if Aleem comes back.
Can you say you knew Bain was going to happen based on their track record?
I'm saying I want my team to be better and to change with the times, because obviously not winning a playoff game in 800 days in this town ain't cutting it.
All right, man. We're out. Go Pistons.
Do you think they win tonight, boys?
Yes, I do. Scott Foster on the call. It's getting done.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Love or hate.
I'll be at the Paddle and Par in Southfield. It's not a stream. We're just hanging out. We're playing pickleball. I think they got some other games there as well, too. Food, drinks, all that stuff. That's where I'm going to be tonight. Make sure you guys pull up. Because I don't know. Are you guys doing it? We're not doing a watch party, are we?
I'm not sure if Kool-Aid is or not, but I will say.
Chris is dipped, so I don't know.
Yeah, I got things I got to do, but
if
I will
you're not
say
pulling up,
out,
these guys do a watch party here. Make sure you watch them.
Hey, I'll be here.
Real quick, shout out to everybody that tapped into Woodward Tigers post-game yesterday. We appreciate everybody tapping in. Shout out to Tigers. Torque 5 straight. McGonigal breaking records. This team's super fun to watch, and this lineup is getting dangerous. So I appreciate everybody tuning in to Woodward Tigers. Big time appreciate you guys. Peace. Woo! Woo!
He doesn't know the end screen. I never know when it ends. Okay.